we are talking about one place, which is Canada. And in this video, we are going to talk about what's wrong with studying in Canada. So yes, a lot of students are still applying for the Canada, which is not a bad idea. They can apply, but then again, they need to know a lot of things before applying for the Canada, that what's going over there. Number one, everyone might be aware of this, that Canada is reeling under heavy housing crisis. I mean, the number of the accommodation that they have is very significantly less than the number of people looking for the accommodation. And it is not only impacting the Indian student, but then it is also impacting the Canadians who is living over there, because end of the time the pricing of the housing is getting so high that everyone is getting impacted with this. So the average rent is hovering around 1800 to 2500 per month. Entire rent is consuming up to that amount, and that's the reason why the Canadian government has increased the GIC amount to $20,000. The condition has worsened so much that nowadays the students have to worry more about their accommodation than the exams. So they are going there to study, but then their main concerns become their housing, their accommodation. So right now the condition is like this, that in Vancouver there are 123,000 students are there, but then there is only 18,000 purpose-built unit, and for the Toronto, for the 240,000 students, there is only 24,000 unit, which can accommodate 2, 3, or 1 students likewise. So the number one thing, that when you are going to Canada nowadays, you have to face this particular problem. Once you are sorted with your housing, then it comes to the inflation. You need to bear up the brunt of the inflation, because inflation, not only with the housing, but for the other expense also, you need to spend significant amount of things. So from 20, though yes, one thing is like this, because of this inflation, the Canadian government has increased the working hour from 20 hours per week to 24 hours per week. That means on an average, you are getting 16 hours more in a month. But then it is not proving that much sufficient for the student to cover their cost, because that is an again problem getting a job over there. Right now the food price is increasing at a remarkable rate of 9.7%. Housing prices growing staggering at 7.4%, and all these things is taking toll in the pocket of the students. So they have to really think a lot before spending upon all these things. So now so you can assume that even if the cost is rising, you can cover the things with the part-time jobs. But the story of the part-time jobs also seems to be very grim, because youth unemployment is hovering at 13.6%, which is a staggering figure, which is quite concerning one. And hundreds of students are lining up for even a post like waiters and servers. There is a video went viral across the social media, where an Indian restaurant was coming up, and people lined up like a bee. It was like a lines of 500 to 600 students just for few number of posts. So the problem is that big. Next thing, that Canadian political environment is also volatile, and because of this, now now it is taking a long time to get your visa approval. And yes, the change of fast track route, you might be aware that earlier students were going under SDS route. Now everyone has to apply through the normal route. So that is happening, and kind of a racial abuses that is happening. I mean, the Canadians are frustrated from not only with the Indian, from the entirely Asian, because they have a reason. They think that they are now competing for their resources. So, but yes, I will say that this is not that significant, but yes, it is happening to a certain extent. So, so Canada is also reeling up under this problem also. So the question arises that why it is happening in Canada. Number one, right now, unfortunately, many universities, and to a certain extent to the government, everything that matters to them right now is money. So university nowadays are very generous with giving offer letter. Visa also is getting approved quite easily as compared to what it was happening past. So as a result, number of students studying over there has increased considerably. Yes, this is another thing that need to be addressed. Most of the people haven't addressed this particular problem, that even the Indian student has misplaced objective. What is misplaced objective? Basically, even the Indian students are not, I mean, I'm not saying all, but major chunk of the students are actually not going to Canada to study. They are going to do part-time work over there to make money, and in the long run, they may seek work visa or the PR opportunities, which is wrong basically, because of this they are competing for the jobs, and they are not well financially not planned from before even going, and once they do not get job over there, they start struggling, because they earlier they have thought that once they will get a job they could cover their studies and living expenditure, which is not happening. So instead of study being an objective for them to go to Canada, they are actually placing doing work, earning money, and getting PR as their main objectives, and they are just taking study as a route to study to fulfill their other objective. So this is one of the major things why this is happening. And yes, lack of skill certificates among Indian diaspora. So what is happening, that student over here, they are going for undergraduate or graduate, but in India we do not have a culture to do anything skill based course in India apart from our usual degree. So once they go over there and they start competing for non unskilled kind of work, which remains very like quite a normal job. So definitely the competition for such kind of a job will always be high, because most of us do not have a certificate for them. So suppose if one student is going with a certificate in cooking, certificate in web designing, having certificate in fitness training, they do not find that much difficulty to get those jobs, because skilled workers are in still demand over there. But then most of the students do not have any kind of a formal certificates, and they go over there, they compete for the regular jobs, and hence they face a lot of difficulties and rush at the bigger centers of Canada. Yes, most of the students want to enjoy life over there, and also they see the PR prospect, and because of that they land up in cities like Vancouver, Brampton, and Toronto, which is actually highly crowded right now as compared to the other part of the Canada. And this is why again those housing crisis, inflation is happening in these cities, specifically more as compared to the other part of the Canada. So what you should do? Shall you drop your Canada plan? The answer is still no. You can continue, but please aim for good quality institute who has good reputation, who are more concerned for the study, and in the same time your objective should be like that you need to choose such kind of a program that shall meet your career goals. But that is not happening, to be honest. People are taking course whatever they are getting, and they are going there just in order to fulfill their Canadian dreams. That's it. They are least worried about those things, and choose unique programs and provinces which will keep you apart from the rest of the crowd. And yes, do some skill certificate training at India. Yes, this is one of the things that is required. Do some skill training, get the certificate, get work experience certificate, or get the certificate that you have learned all those things. Make a portfolio on Instagram or LinkedIn if it's possible, to show the prospective employer over there. And don't plan the budget with the part-time job expectation. Yes, this is a bitter truth that you need to swallow, that right now if you are planning your budget, if you are budgeting your entire study and stay with the help of part-time job, you are going to face a very tough time over there. And use the space. Yeah, this is the kind of a space share type platforms. These are the kind of platforms who are helping the students for getting accommodation. But apart from this, the main thing is that your objective should be to study, not to work over. So if you think about these parameters, and if you plan accordingly, then you are going to face less problem as compared to someone who go over there with very wrong intentions and with unplanned things. So that's it. And yeah, finally, go to study, not to work or seek PR or enjoyment. So this is the one thing that you need to understand, that study should be your primary goal. Thank you for watching this video. My intention was to not make you scared about the Canadian institution still holds very high value. Their study system is still good. They have a good, still like you can make a great life in Canada. but then sometimes the situation and circumstances of some country doesn't remain what we expect, and it happens with all the countries across the world. It happens with India also, it happens with other country. But when you are into that particular, that volatile time, you need to be completely prepared for this. If you and your parent are prepared for the kind of a situation that you might experience at Canada right now, it won't be so inconvenient experience for you. Rather, you could get the best out of it. So instead of just dropping the plan to go to the Canada, you need to be better prepared while going to the Canada. That's all in today's video. If you have any inquiry, this is the number where you can WhatsApp. If you want to process your application through us, again, you can inquire us on this WhatsApp number. If you think that this video was worthy for your time that you have spent watching this video, please press the like button, share it across your friends who are thinking to study abroad, and if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe it. Thanks for watching this video. See you next one. Till then, take care and bye-bye.